guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author and also somebody who is trying to traverse the world of multiple personalities. Today we are going to be talking about Book 1 in the Bugztopia PD Series, The Attack on A&T Hill, and we are going to talk about all the good details from getting it from the original copy of it back in 2023 to the new cover that is going to be released in May of 2025. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's just do a little background information on the story before we really get diving into this I call it proof copy, but it's the final copy. So back in, I want to say like 2022 or 2020, I honestly can't remember, but my nephew, who at the age of like 7 roughly, he asked me to write him a book series. And, at first, like, he knew I wrote books and stuff, and at first I was like, dude, you're too young to understand what you're talking about. But I was over at his house, and he kept bringing it up, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll engage in this hypothetical story. That later turned out to be real. But he was like, I want it to be a story about bugs, and I'm like, I'm not at all qualified to talk about bugs. But I was like, okay, but, I'm not gonna rate, like, I was like, I'm not gonna rate you, like, one of your, like, non-fiction books, about talking, like, in-depth, like, what bugs eat and stuff. I don't know, like, like, classic non-fiction books when it comes to, about insects. And he's like, no, I don't want that. I want it to be a bug, like, he never said this in these words, but I was like, he wanted it in a bug-inspired world. And, I was like, dude, you're 7, I'm not, like, I never really engaged it, but as I've talked to you guys before, I am somebody who has alters, and at that time, I wasn't entirely sure what was going on with me with my mental health, but I knew I wanted to be a writer, and I knew I wanted to probably eventually write children's books. And that's kind of how Shelley became created or split off from MK, who was my original author. And so that kind of just started the whole spiral of the Bugztopia series. So me and my nephew discussed, like, he wanted it to be like a police officers. And he knew exactly what he wanted for the characters. Because he wanted it to represent him and his sister, or like at least have their names. So my nephew, his middle name is Francis, and my niece's middle name is Renee. And so that is how we get Officer Francis and Officer Renee. Officer Francis is the pink and purple praying mantis that my nephew, he was always wanting to be an orchid mantis. Well, that's what he wanted to be in the books. And I was like, okay, and then I was like, well, what does your sister need to be? And he was like, I want her to be a butterfly. He knew exactly what he wanted to be, and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. And that is kind of where, like, his creativity kind of stopped, almost, for a little bit, until I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this world. And at first, I was like, okay, I'm going to make it like an ABC book, like, A is for Ant. That's kind of how we got A&T Hill. But I was like, as I wrote it, because I don't plan out my books. That is something I just don't do, is I don't plan out my books. And so I was doing research, like, I was just, like, writing the book, and I was coming to the point where, like, the story, I was like, this book is, like, it was only, like, 12,000 words long, but I'm like, I feel like I'm either coming to an end of it, or I'm just getting started into the book series. Because I was like, there's so much that I want to do with it. And, like, as I started writing book 1, my nephew was like, oh, can we add this, can we add this, can we add this, and this, and this? And I'm just like, dude, what do you expect from me? Like, I know you think I can do all because I am your aunt. And, like, that's what I always thought with my aunts, is, like, you can do great things. And, like, I want to do great things. And I was just like, dude, what do you expect from me? But I was like, as he started filling my mind with all of his ideas, I was like, oh my gosh, I can keep expanding this world. And that is how I am on book 17 of Bugztopia currently. And I'm just like, whoa, this series is far from over. But yeah, so so I would say back in 2022, I finished writing the first draft of Bugztopia. If you can see, there's some like, well, actually, they're not back there anymore. There's some proof copies. I tried printing this book off like several different times. At first, I wanted it to just be released so my nephew could read it. But then I was like, I wanted it to be so other people can read it. Because I'm like, I'm not going to just print it off for just my nephew. Like, I want to print it off for everybody. And so that is kind of how it became. So, how do I put this? Back in 2022, I released the first edition of it, which I really I put it on Amazon, released it, and then took it immediately off sale. Just so I could get the book without the resale bar on it. I liked it, but like I knew that wasn't the final copy. I knew that wasn't the final. But then as time progressed, I was like, I really want to release this. Like I tried querying it to get an agent, but never really took off. I think the problem with it was I never knew how to describe the book series. Like I knew it's a city of bugs, and I knew they're police officers, but like the end of the story, I didn't know what it was. And, like, I tried querying it when I had all 6 books done, but I was like, that didn't feel like the end of the story, and here I am, book 17, and it's still not done yet. So it's just, I would love to get this traditionally published, but I don't think that's on my, I don't think that's going to happen, especially considering I don't know when this series is going to end. Hence, me publishing it. So like I said, this book came out in September. I think it was September 11th, I think I published it. Or was it September 9th? I don't remember. But September 11th, this book came out. And, you know, I, at first, was, very proud of this work. And, as I should be. Because, it is a complete and finished book. It's got different formatting than I usually did. So, I have bars here. I have character art. I have an illustrator who did this, I have all this stuff that is, mine or, I paid for, so it's not, so with my other books that I had previously published, if you can see, they're kind of back there, but I designed the covers myself, or, it was all just, independently me, and I was never really proud of it. But here I am, looking at this book. As much as I got problems with it, I'm still proud of this book. This is completely me. Well, okay, I say completely me, but, I asked someone to cover design, I did ask for a cover image, I asked for character designs, and I did all this stuff that made me feel like a real author. And, and I'm still working with my illustrator to this day. She is working on the omnibus cover for book season 1 of Bugztopia. So I'm I feel like I'm a real artist. I'm a real artist because I have all those books up there. I'm working on book 17, and like I said, this book series isn't over, and I'm this is one of my magnum opuses. I'm expanding my world. I'm expanding my creating. And, that's what it is, But so I would say after book 3 or 4 in the series, so after these 3 books were published, these ones over here, I was kind of I want to republish these. Just because I was yeah, I like the covers, but they just didn't feel right. And so I was okay, I'm going to re-release them. And that kind of began the journey of designing the new books. And I was I need to finish out releasing all of these the covers that look like this, so then I will be able to at least someone will have a complete set. And then I was and then I was on the journey to just creating the new one, and I gotta say I really enjoyed these covers more, just because I think it looks a lot more appropriate for the age range. So these are middle grade children's chapter books. I would say ideally for 9 to 12-year-olds. So this first one, I don't know, it just looks pretty amateurish. And this one, yeah, it's still a little, basic. But I don't want it to be, heavily, um, I don't know what I was looking for. Like heavy like Photoshop manipulated, because I really want the illustrations that I got done to shine. And I really enjoy these ones. Like, I just enjoy how it turned out. And, I edited the formatting a little bit in the book, so now all it's got is ants running it down the side. It still has the character designs for the chapter headers, and I just changed up the formatting and stuff a little bit to make it new and stuff, and I really, really enjoy it. I even have, like, books in the series. And as like I've already got like planning for like the future books in the series. So like season 2, this is part of season 1 of Bugztopia, which is Officer Francis and Officer Nane's story. But season 2, which is Officer Bug and Officer Ryan, 2 characters that you meet in this book series. But they've got like different ants representing this different stories. So like these classic ants are for season 1. Season 2 is going to have a little slightly different ants. Season 2.5 has different ants, and like it's just going to be different ants each time. And I love how I represent it. And like I feel like with my branding, I make it a lot more effective. Well, not effective, but like I think my branding and stuff really makes it clear like I am taking this professional. And like it's like if you were to really get down and dirty with it, so like all of this font is Comic Sans. But I think it works for my books because they're middle grade. But yeah. So I like personally designed, well, I say personally designed, but I personally made the Bugztopia PD sign like heading. And that's where it's going to be on each one of the books. And, I really enjoy it. I feel really proud of it. And, if you want to pick up this book, it is available on pre-order at Amazon for the ebook, and also on all distributors that Drafted Digital does. It'll be released May 6th of 2025. It is I don't know how to describe it. It is a middle grade children's chapter book series where you are following police officer Bugs as they try to stop the evil that is ruining their city. And like I said, it's a multi-long series, like multi-long seasons, which I just break it down into seasons because of each character. And then as the series progresses, we'll get more and more. And yeah, I'm really proud of it, And so, like I said, if you want to pick it up May 6th, it'll be available, hopefully at all distributors, on May 6th. I don't have a pre-order for the paperback, but the ebook, if you're interested in it, is on Amazon and also where places of Drafted Digital publish, which I think is most places. I will have a link, I think, in the description, that'll have it'll have a link where you can go purchase the pre-order for the ebook. So if you're excited, go tell it down there, and I'm really proud of it. So yeah, I know I've talked to my nephew about this book series before, and I've asked him, and I was like, "Are you proud of what I've done?" And he is extremely proud of me. I am extremely proud of me. But he was like, he's excited because this is something that he imagined. And, as somebody who has alters, but I also I really want to hit close to my family because my family has always been important to me. They're the reason that I'm still here. And, I really, I'm speaking as Shelly right now, it's complicated. But speaking as Shelly, the books that I plan on writing under Shelly's name are all going to be dedicated to my nieces and nephews. So I currently have 3 nieces and nephews. My nephew has this series, and my niece is going to have another series. But each book series, I really want to hit home with him or his siblings. And yeah, I'm super proud of it. If you guys are excited to if you guys are excited, go check it out in the description. And yeah, I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about my Bugztopia PD series. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!